about outdoor education. Outdoor education are physical activities that we put an individual out of their comfort zone and will challenge in their ability or new skills. They are done in a natural environment that have received a real risk. They come under three different categories, which is air, land, and water. The 4 outdoor education sports that I'm going to be talking about are canoeing, rock climbing, gliding, and orienteering. All of these activities are safe if there is an instructor and they're all qualified to do the sport and know what they're doing. The first one I'm going to be talking about is canoeing. Canoeing is a water-based sport and it is which you sit or kneel in a boat and paddle along the water. The governing body for canoeing is the British Canoe Union. The address in which you can do it in is Wimbledon Park Water Sports Centre. This is where I had the opportunity to do canoeing before in my high school for one of my options. You have safety equipment to ensure that you are protected while in a canoe or going in the water. The safety equipment that will be used are buoyancy aid, wetsuit, spray deck, paddle and helmet. A buoyancy aid is like a life jacket and it goes around your body to ensure that when you fall in the water, you are kept above it and you don't drown. A wetsuit is used for when you fall in the water and it ensures to keep you warm. This happens by the water going inside and your body heat heating it up. A spray deck is used and it goes over the entrance of the boat so that if any water tries to get in there, it won't be able to, because if a load of water get in there and you didn't have a spray deck, then your boat would sink. A paddle is used to get along the water and to turn in the right direction and be able to turn you in the right direction that you want to go. A helmet is used for in case you fall out, because if you fall out and you are near rocks or near the side, then it will protect your head. Not only that, but sometimes people can move the paddle above your head and it could possibly hit your head. The next thing I'm going to talk about is environmental considerations. The most important consideration is wildlife. Because this is their home, you will be disturbing their natural habitat. This could be in a lake. This is mainly fish and ducks or some sort of bird that is near water. The other consideration is plants. In a lake mainly, there is plants that will be around, and this could possibly have a duck nest in that can have eggs. If it doesn't have eggs in, if it doesn't have duck eggs in, then it could possibly have fish eggs, or just other insects that live inside them plants. Another environmental consideration is the weather. You will not be able to canoe if you have really bad weather, because this could put the individual in danger. They shouldn't do canoeing if it is thunder and lightning, snowing, or possibly a very bad storm. When individuals go canoeing, they're able to win certificate awards based on a level on how they performed. The next one I'm going to talk about is rock climbing. Rock climbing is a land-based sport. Rock climbing is an activity in which individuals climb up, down, or across natural or artificial rocks. The governing body for rock climbing is the British Mountaineering Council. The place in which you can do rock climbing is Oak Sports Centre, Woodminster Road in Carshalton. The safety equipment for rock climbing is climber rope harness, climbing shoes, canisters, belay, helmet. The reason why you need safety consideration is to ensure that you are safe and that you don't put yourself in pure danger. The first safety equipment is a climber rope. You need a rope to, of course, support yourself, and when you fall, the rope will also help as it is elastic and gives you room to fall. A harness goes around your waist and the legs, and it just supports. Also on the harness, the canisters with the rope hook onto it, or if you have a sandbag, that also hooks onto it. The canisters are what the ropes go into and are attached to the harness. A belay is a device that locks a rope in and it stops you from falling. A helmet is mainly used for when you're out in a natural rock and stops rocks from hitting your head if they're falling off. from above. There are environmental considerations is wildlife. When it is natural rock, sometimes birds tend to nest up there, and this could have eggs or just simply them. The other environmental consideration is rocks. Erosion happens in rocks, and this means that they could be loose or falling, or they could just be wearing away, and the individual will have to be careful with that. Another environmental consideration is the weather. With rock climbing, someone shouldn't climb if it is very poor weather, because this could involve more danger to the individual. When rock climbing, whether it's natural rock or artificial, if you are a person that is a beginner, then you should have instructors that are qualified. They'll have awards like Climb a Wall Award or Single Pitch Award, and they should be present when you carry out the activity. What I'm going to be talking about is gliding. Gliding is an air-based sport. Gliding is a recreational and competitive air sport in which pilots fly unpowered aircraft known as gliders or sailplanes using natural currents of air. The governing body for gliding is the British Hang Gliding and Paragliding Association. The place in which you can do gliding is Surrey Hills Gliding Club, Kenley, and it is not far from Cattermole. The safety equipment for gliding is plane navigation, seat belt, but also to have an instructor. The reason why you need the plane is because if you don't have the plane, then you won't even get up in the air. The navigation system is to ensure that you know where you are at all places and you know where you should be landing. The seatbelt is used for when a person lands, if they land abruptly or the ground or it isn't a very smooth landing, and it will stop them from going forward, into which they could possibly hit their head on the windscreen. Another safety equipment is a helmet. This is for beginners, and they should wear a helmet because if they land abruptly, then they can hit their head, and this could cause an injury. The environmental considerations are wildlife. Even though it's in the air, there isn't much of wildlife apart from birds that could be flying, and have to ensure that you don't go into them. A big environmental consideration of gliding is pollution. It's because the plane possibly doesn't have an engine, it won't make that much pollution, but because other planes could be up there, this causes pollution. Another environmental consideration is weather. It isn't good to fly glider when it is cloudy or raining or foggy, because they might not be able to see where they're going or what could be ahead. The last one I'm going to talk about is orienteering. This is a land-based sport. It is a sport that requires teamwork and navigation skills using a map and compass to navigate from point to point in diverse and unfamiliar terrain. The governing body for orienteering is the British Orienteering Federation. The closest place in which I found was at the Canoeing Sports Arena, Albert Road, Greater London. The safety equipment for orienteering is a map, compass, and instructors. The reason for a map is so individuals know what way they're going and where to go, and they can follow the map if they possibly get lost. The compass is used so they know if they're going north, south, east or west, and they'll know if they're going in the right way. The reason safety equipment is also an instructor is because they might need instructors to meet them at point to point, depending on how wide a range the space is, or if they get lost. The environmental considerations: wildlife, weather, and plants. Wildlife and plants will be the big environmental considerations. Wildlife, because you could be going into their hometown. This means that you will be disturbing them and you could possibly be distressing them out or scaring them. Plants as well, because this is where nests could be laid, or possibly where little small bugs and insects live. But another environmental consideration is weather. With weather, you won't be able to do it if it is pouring of rain, thunder and lightning, snow, foggy, because you won't be able to see where you go, or it could put a huge danger to you. When you're out on orienteering, you should also respect the countryside. The safety considerations. With canoeing, the buoyancy should be checked on that it's tight and fastened up and won't come off, because if it comes off and the person can't swim, there's a possibility that they could drown. With rock climbing, the canoers should be checked that they are fastened along correctly. This can be done by another person checking or an instructor. With gliding, someone should always be in a plane of a beginner, because if something goes wrong, the beginner won't know what they're doing or how to stop the plane. Orienteering, someone should be at checkpoints to meet them, ensure that they are okay, and if anyone is missing, to go and look for them. But other safety considerations should be there should always be a first aider on site. The equipment should be checked. Everyone should know distress signals. So if they canoe in, they fall out, there could be a whistle or they could have a flare. Emergency procedures is calling obviously the emergency people and know where they're able to get in touch with the phone. All activities are safe to do if there is an instructor that is fully qualified with all the correct considerations, with all the correct certificates and fully qualified. When going on all these outdoor education activities, people should ensure that they respect the countryside code. The countryside code is a rule that is made to respect, protect and enjoy. You should respect other people. Consider the local community and other people enjoying the outdoors. Leave gates and properties as you find them and follow paths wisely unless wider access is available. Protect the natural environment. Leave no traces of your visit and take your litter home. Keep dogs under effective control. Enjoy the outdoors. Plan ahead and be prepared. Follow advice and local signals. With doing all this, it ensures that you are following the countryside code and that everything is the same as when you left it, and that it is fully protected and everything is safe. Thank you for listening.